I'm going to talk about life. If this sounds like a gyan or sermon, it is not. A gyan or a sermon is subjective. It is intangible, like the whiff of a perfume or the nose of a wine. Subjective. It stays a very little time and then it wears off. Sure, you only have metaphors and analogies to describe all that. They'll be close and yet not just what you felt or what it is that you were looking for. This fireside is objective. I delved into life, flew on private jets, partied on yachts, and savored the Caspian caviar. Slept well and woke up in my Belgian linen pajamas and the most expensive satin sheets unto another day. The next high compensated for the last, and the next for the earlier. A bigger car is just another sex toy that compensates for the lack of libido. What a pity. We can sleep in it, but don't, and I can't take it to my bed. Life was becoming boring with the sameness striking me each day. Desires are priceless and lose value the moment you acquire one with a MasterCard. That's when she loses her tag. This was a cycle. To break out of a cycle, says physics, you need kinetic force. Something that propels you out of the orbit. Kinetic force comes into play if you acquire momentum. Sameness does not accelerate. Sameness keeps you in the sunny fishbowl where your water and feeds need constant replacement merely. But we all need to break out of our orbit into the next realm. I'm going to talk of weed, a special kind of weed that just doesn't wear off. It is another level. The thought would often occur, where am I headed? What is my purpose? How much more? Well, I cracked the code. And I chose to step away on the sidewalk as the rat race was on. I moved from the upper echelons of a career to the upper reaches of the Himalayas and bought myself a comfortable suite in a boutique resort. Then I started trekking with the shepherds, climbing mountains and sleeping in the frozen shelters as it snowed outside. The hay mats on which I slept were soiled. Their yak clothing had a smell, but it was still warm. Warmth more than compensated for the smell. I discovered my special weed, the weed of happiness. The shepherds didn't understand my language and I didn't understand theirs. But we both understood expressions of joy, thirst, hunger, fatigue, and sleep. In the nights, a Mary's little lamb would be tucked under my head as she heaved in her breath and rocked me to sleep. Another over my feet, nor kept my feet warm too as I lay and looked up at the night sky, playing bagatelle with the shooting stars. There were days I could play golf and croquet with the passing clouds on the sunny slopes. The thought, however, would still accompany me and often occur. Where am I headed? What is my purpose? How much more? It was in one of those shelters that I cracked the code. How much do I need and what for? Let me share with you the happiness code that I then converted into an app and that gives you your own happiness index. It gives you your mind share. It shows you your mind map and it gives you your creativity story. If happiness is the redemption of desires, here is a tool that helps you calibrate your desires. Join me as you create, calibrate, and celebrate happiness. Meanwhile, this is Yogi from Yol, signing off for Your One Life. Live it as you look out for part 2.